Good flight from Nitschke.
Fabulous shot. Really powerful and committed to it. Shelley Nitschke is in good form.
And that is just a brilliant catch by Shelley Nitschke.
I knew she was a very impressive player, particularly for South Australia. She'd scored lots of runs in the last couple of seasons, so I knew she was very capable.
I was a little bit scared of Shell initially, but she's such a, can be quite serious like me, but also such a fun-loving person.
And because she made her debut at a later age, I think she slotted in really well with the group. She kept to herself. We were roommates for the first leg of the tour, so it was actually a really good opportunity to get to know her. I didn't know a hell of a lot about her initially, but by the end of the Indian tour, we were best friends.
She's been such a consistent, dominant player since her debut in 2004. Every time she goes out to bat, she gives it 100%. Every time she bowls and fields, and it's seen every time she walks up there and accepts a player of the match. The number of times that she's accepted one of those is just amazing.
In terms of playing ability, obviously very good player, tough to replace. We've got some default plans that we have about how we want to play the game. One of those default plans is Shelley gets player of the match, because it just happens all the time.
She's someone who's always willing to look at her game and always be improving it, and that's just a great message to give to our younger players. She's one of the best players we've ever had in the Australian side, and she goes out there and she really thrives on the responsibility to bring the team home or to set the team up for a great win. But the main thing is that she's played with such passion and pride. She shies away from the attention. She just wants to do her best, and she says it how it is, which I think is fantastic. I know she treasures her one-day cap, which she hangs up on the wall wherever she goes, and you just know the passion she has for playing for Australia. Once you get to know her, there's this sarcastic remarks, little dry sense of humour that comes out, and the girls really warm to that.
Look, I think there's a bit of ribbing there from the young players. Every now and again, they know that Shell's, kind of getting on, but Shell gives it straight back to him, gives them a few on the ribs. So it's really good banter, and I think the young players know that she's such a professional person off the field and on the field, and they take that into their cricket as well. So she's just been such a great mentor to a number of young players.
Shell, by her own admission, would say that she's not the greatest athlete in the world, but she does everything possible to give herself the best chance of playing well. As I said, she sets a really good example for the young players coming in. So if they pick up half of that, then we'll be pretty well placed.
My personal favourite Shelley moment was we were playing at Manuka Oval. I think a couple of years ago, just before I got injured, and Shelley was just having a really good series, and she came out and just smashed it all over the park, scored 90, wasn't unlucky not to get 100, but on her day, just such a clean striker of the ball, can hit him over the fence, through the fence, you name it, and I've always looked up to her batting and always tried to sort of, not model mine, I'll never be a stroke maker like Shell, but just such a great mentor for the young batters coming through.
I love watching her bat anytime she goes out there. She went out against England in a test match at Hove, and we were in a really awful position. The top order didn't bat very well, so we kind of left it to the tail enders, and I think Shelley made 70 or 80 not out. I can't remember the exact amount, and she wore that baggy green, and God, she looked like Don Bradman, and she got the nickname the Don after that. But my most vivid memory was handing the ball to her in the 2020 World Cup against England, a crucial match for us to win, and it was in an eliminator. And just to have someone who was so willing to take on that responsibility was great, and she got through, and she was a big part of that win for us.
The most pleasing one is probably the 100 she made it in Cargill, which was her first 100 for Australia. Obviously, having played for as long as she has, to finally get 100, and that morning of the game, I might have been a change of innings actually. They'd posted a reasonable score, and I said, right, there's an opportunity there for someone to get 100 today, and that'll win us the game. And Shell went out and got 100.
If you ever needed to have a bit of a laugh, go straight into Shell's change room or into her room and have a good joke with her.
She has a laugh. It's from the heart. She just gets right into it. She's always mucking around with Lauren Ebzery, a South Australian teammate, whistling this really annoying whistle she always does. But it's quite funny, and just the way she loves being a part of the Australian cricket team, and I just love seeing how much passion she has for it. Well, like I said, she's quite a serious character, but when you do spend a bit of time with her, she has this dry sense of humour. I can remember in Darwin, we were driving the car and she said, Lisa, do you ever, when you're driving the car, just wind down the window and just start yelling at someone like, hey, how you going, mate? Or I go, no. She goes, look, I'll do it. So around Darwin, she just kept on yelling out to random people, going, hey, mate, how's it going? Like that. And I'm like, you strange girl. But she does a few crazy things like that, but you wouldn't see that side of her very often.
She's won a couple of World Cups. She's won the International Player of the Year, Australian Player of the Year. She's done everything that she possibly can, and that's such an amazing thing that she's done, and I think everyone looks up to her in that regard.
It's just been great to see her finishing her career so strongly. To be number one in the world is just a great achievement, and she's certainly been a big part of our success.